Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our Kabroda live stream. Hopefully, y'all are doing well. Got some trades yesterday. Yeah, kind of look at yesterday, I guess. Then we'll just jump right into our battle box setup for today. Got some coffee going. All right, let's see. So we got yesterday is we kind of broke out here. This is the retest right here. If you're watching it, not the greatest retest. It was pretty quick, pretty fast, and pretty hard to get into, really. But you could have made about a 1-to-1 on this if you put your target all the way out here at the breakdown. Sorry, on the volume very low. It's not like crazy trade or anything, just a little bit of an up move, and pretty hard to catch up move, really. If you did catch it though, great, nice job. Kudos to you. But other than that, we kind of just went sideways for the rest of the night, and then into today, we kind of we rose up into today, and then started to break down as we've kind of come into the morning. So we'll just get our battle box system set up and kind of see where our lines are at, what kind of support, what kind of resistance we're looking at. We do have some resistance down here at 110, 300 area. We covered that a little bit more in the recap if you want to check that out. That'll be out at 10 on the recap of yesterday. But yes, there is some resistance there. So, and we've tested it a little bit, and then we're kind of range bound really if we go out to the 4 hour. You can see we're kind of stuck in between this 200 and this 110, 300 area. Just kind of bouncing in between the two. So see what we're looking at today. See if maybe we're gonna get a breakout on either side. Oops. But yeah, let's jump into it. So I got my GPT up here, all ready to go. We'll see how well it works today. They did update it recently and add the ability for some more live data. So we might actually be updating it pretty soon to get some more I guess just live data, like some charts and stuff that you can throw in here. Last time when I did it yesterday, the actual like BTC chart came up, so we'll definitely be looking into how to improve the battle box with that. But for now, it hasn't been updated yet, so we're going to use it the way we have been using it. We'll see how we actually do. Last time I tried to get a market recap or market review here, it totally generated a whole new thing. Yeah, like this. So obviously this isn't our thing, like this is not something we made. But it's kind of what it's thrown up here. So if you do want to get that market review, I believe I said let's make a DMR. I believe that's what I said yesterday. We'll see. Yeah. So if you click the normal thing we normally click, let's generate a daily market recap. It comes up with all this stuff. And then if you just say let's make a DMR, then it'll pop up with the stuff that you actually want, which is it's just telling you like what you need to grab before it can make a recap for you. So one thing that we'll do real fast before we get too far into getting this stuff from the charts is we're going to open up Google like this, and we're going to head to cryptocraft.com. So cryptocraft.com. It'll look just like this. You're going to head over here on the left. There's a calendar. You're going to head to 15th because that's the date, and then you'll just grab a screenshot of this. So if you don't want to do that on Windows, it's Windows key Shift and S, and we'll just screenshot this whole thing right here. There's not a lot of meetings today. We got really nothing. There's day 3 of the IMF meeting. Hasn't really affected the market the last 2 days. Then you got 7:30. Empire State something already happened. Government Bullock speaks at 2:45, and then Chair Atkins speaks at 3. So neither of those really high impact. So you really got to watch out for is that red or orange. I guess I don't know what these things really are, like little rocket ships or something. Whenever you see red or orange on those, that's where you got to kind of worry about it. Going back to trade view, I guess we'll go back to GPT first. We're gonna throw our screenshot in here, and then we'll go to our trade view, and we're just gonna go down the time frames taking screenshots. One thing I'm gonna do before we start taking screenshots is I'm gonna turn off some of my lines here, just like that, and probably turn off this line too, just in case. Zoom out a little bit, and then I'm just going to double click all of them. That'll get them set up where they're nice and easy to read, especially for the battle box. And we'll just do the same thing, Windows key, Shift and S together to take a screenshot. And I'm just going to go down the line, putting them into my GPT as I go. Two, 3, and last one, 5 minute. Yeah, 5 minute. There we go. So we got all 4 screenshots now. They're all in our GPT. Well, I guess all 5 screenshots, counting the news one. And then now we're going to get those FRVP levels. And before we do those, I'm going to type FRVP. Type it right. FRVP levels. Then I'm going to go 24-hour will be our first one. That'll be our first section. And then below that, we'll have morning. That'll be our second section. And under each section, I'm going to do volume area high, so volume VAH. And then POC, point of control, and volume area low, or VAL. And I'm going to just copy and paste that under my morning section. Just like that. And then below that, I'm going to do 30-minute candle, high, and low. And you don't really have to do it this, like you don't have to make it look this nice. This is really just more for if you ever like say you mess something up, it's easy to find like which one you messed up or which one's where or what's going on. Because if you just kind of like put them all in a line, the GPT most likely will be able to read it, but for like us, it's going to get kind of confusing. It also makes it easy to copy and paste into. So heading back to our chart here on TradeView, we're going to go to the 1 hour. This is just the easiest hour to do this on, or the easiest chart, sorry, to do this on, time frame. And I'm going to go down 4 from the crosshair, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Click over and then go to fixed range volume profile. And then it's just for the morning, or for the 24-hour one, it's just going to be 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock yesterday being the 14th to 7 o'clock today. And then these are the 3 different lines that we're going to need. So red's going to be your volume area high, yellow's PSC, and then blue is your volume area low. And I already have my lines on here. If you want these lines, you just type hit Alt and J at the same time, and that'll pop a horizontal ray up for you. And that's what these are. And then you can just go ahead and click on the settings over here and change them to whatever you want. There. So I got all 3 of my lines lined up. And again, don't need to be super exact on how the lines are going to sit, because as we know, support and resistance are both ranges. So even if you're not 100% exact, you'll most likely still be within the range of the support or resistance. So it's not a huge deal. Just try to get it as close as you can by just like drag and dropping it over it. And then once we get that, we'll click on it, go to settings, and then most likely you'll be on style if you've never done this before. From style, you're just going to click on coordinates, and then that'll give you your coordinates here. You'll just copy, and then we can go back to our GPT and we'll just paste them right in there. And we'll just go down the line doing that. So that's 1, do the POC. And once you do it once, you can just go ahead and press copy, or click Control C, like right as you open the settings for the thing, because they should already be up there as the coordinates for you. Sweet. So we got our 24-hour ones done. They're all 3 on here. Now we just got to go for those morning ones. Mornings are the same kind of thing. You're just going to move the back dot from 7 o'clock yesterday to 3 o'clock today. At 3 a.m. again. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off these volume rate highs, the 24-hour ones, and I'm going to turn on my morning ones. And then we'll do the same exact thing, drag and drop. I'm going to throw back on my trend line here. Alright, so all 3 of our lines are on here. They're all lined up as best we can do. So we'll just do the same thing, copy and then paste it onto our corresponding points on our GPT. So there's the morning, volume rate high. I think I didn't get the volume rate high. We'll make sure. Oh yeah, we got it. Alright, we'll do POC next. And then volume rate lows last. Then we're going to grab the high and then the low. So for the high and the low, the easiest thing you can do, and we're going to get this of the 30-minute 7:30 candle. So we'll head to the 30-minute. I'm going to go ahead and close out hide my lines, just so we can see the chart nice and clean. And I'm going to go to that 7:30 candle. And there's one thing that makes this real easy, is if you click twice and then hold. So like click once, click again, and then hold it. You'll get a little window like this. Spirit Maker couldn't get that to work though, so if you can't get that to work, it's up in the top here under where it says Kabroda. There'll be an H and an L that'll tell you the high and the low. You'll just hover over the 7:30 candle and then you'll look up there. But for the purpose of the live stream, since it's easier to see, I'm going to do the double click thing. And then you can see our high and low right there under the open and above the close. So we'll get the high is a 111.756. So we'll head back here and type it in, 111.756. Then we'll go to that low, same thing. We'll just go back to our chart, double click and hold, 111.343. 343. Alright, sweet. So we got all of our different levels on here. The last thing that you can do if you're doing this by yourself is you can go ahead and get the weekly levels, FRVP levels. But for the purpose of live stream, we'll just skip that one. Make it a little bit easier on everybody. And then you just go ahead and send it in. We were having some problems with it yesterday, so we'll see if, not sure if it was just the update they did is just kind of screwing up the like the ability for the GPT to kind of read what we're sending it or what, but we were having some issues yesterday. I ended up finally getting it to work, but it wasn't really doing it right. All right, sweet. So we got it to work today. Got our recap here. You can see the different time frames that we got with a little bit of TA on each one. Below that, we got some resistance lines and then some trade strategies that you can check out. And then below that, there is the news. So we already looked at the screenshot, but you can go here and check out the news from the screenshot that you sent. The impact is not always correct, so make sure you double check it. I'm pretty sure they were all medium, so not a big deal here. Execution considerations, so just some things to kind of watch out for as you're taking some trades today. And then they do have weekly zone reference. It has them on here. I didn't give them to it, so I'd be a little cautious of where those are coming from. Just because AI isn't perfect at TA in that aspect of like grabbing lines and figuring out where they're at and such. So yeah, just something to pay attention to. And then we got YAML levels under that. Just some levels that you can grab and pull out of here and put on your chart if you want to. All right, we'll start with our TA though. I'll just kind of read off what the battle box has to say, and then we'll kind of walk through the TA ourselves, just to make it nice and clean. So head back to our trade and view screen. Here we go. And I'm going to turn on those lines real quick because a lot of times the battle box will mention these lines as we're kind of going through them. All right, starting at the 4 hour. The battle box says BTC remains in a down bias consolidation below the 200 MA cluster. Price is holding under multi-session resistance around 113.1K, testing the lower 111K bands. Volume fades on bounces, momentum still negative but flattening. Sweet. So we are below that 200. Like we said, we are in that kind of flag pattern here. Typically when you get this kind of pattern, you get a breakdown from the top. So you can see we came down here and then we kind of made this flag sideways pattern. Typically these break down to the downside, not always, but typically. So we could see that wick getting filled here. The wick from Friday that I believe it was last Friday where we had this great crazy wick. Could see that wick getting filled here on this down trade. It would be a pretty crazy drop, but it could be filled there. Possibility. Other than that, the MACD is tried to flip bullish here as we came out of that down run there. Right after the spike, we flipped bullish. Kind of started to go up and then started to lose momentum as we broke or rejected the 200 here. Stayed bullish, but not by a lot. Looks like we're about ready to flip to the bearish side of the MACD. RSI, on the other hand, is down on the more oversold area. So we're not completely at the bottom where it's like out of the grid almost that it's oversold, but we are in the bottom section below 50. So looking for possibly more upside. We could also get a little bit more of a rip downwards, so here as well, as we are below the faster moving average, or the purple one is actually below the slower moving average. This is yellow. Stoches are about midline, really, flattening. Again, Stoches not a huge deal on these longer time frames. Not something we typically look at, just because the Stoches just don't have a lot of say, really, like not very accurate on these longer time frames like this. All right, moving on to the 1 hour. Okay, so the 1 hour, you can kind of see that flag pattern still here on there. DPT says displays the bear flag compression under declining EMAs. MACD histogram is near zero. RSI is mid zone, indicating equilibrium before next leg. The bias is neutral bullish. Oh, bearish, sorry. Neutral bearish. All right. So yeah, we can see that flag here. That's the flag it's talking about. Almost looks more like this on here, but we're also waiting for that turn around, see what kind of, we're gonna get a higher low or a lower low, or just kind of like same low. See where the pattern kind of fits in. Right now the top almost is slanted down, so you're assuming it's gonna be something like that, but we will see as price action continues on today. We got this MACD flipping, so we got 3 bars into MACD flip. So we're seeing more of a down trade there. RSI is also going down, so we started to kind of break up as we came up here. They couldn't make a higher high than the last one, and we started to reject, break down, and now we're seeing that curve down in the MACD. Socials are at the bottom, but again, 1 hour, not a big deal for the 1 hour because socials don't really matter out here. Moving to the 15. So the 15, the GPT says we are range compression from 112.6 to 111.4K. Attempts to reclaim morning value, rejected near 112.3K, lower highs with mid divergence forming. Oh, interesting. Mild divergence. We'll have to check that out. So starting off, I don't really see any divergence. The only divergence I kind of see is this bearish divergence, and I believe it already played out. So you got a downtrend here on the top, and then on here we got almost an uptrend to sideways. So that's some divergence there I see. Other than that, not really anything. Like this down trade chart is going down, so is the RSI, so no divergence there. And yeah, there's not any really highs other than that. So I would say this bearish divergence is kind of playing out here. How much farther will it really go? I don't know. There's not a lot. I wouldn't think that divergence has much more in the rooms of play, but we could continue down anyways. It doesn't really matter. You could see the MACD is bearish since we did flip and start, like basically we rejected off that 200 here and broke down, and we've been bearish since. RSI also bearish, starting to get near that really oversold point though, where we'll kind of flip back up to the other side. So it's starting to look more and more bullish as we continue down. Could still have a bit of a drop though to go before we do end up flipping and turning too bullish. Stoches are ready to break up to the upside, so that is a these actually work on the 15 typically, so you are seeing possible upside movement, which the other two indicators kind of concur with. Will it be this second? I don't know. We'll see. Could be a little bit before we get that flip to bullish. Moving on to the 5 minute. 5 minute on the GPT says we got intraday trading momentum weakness. Repeated sweeps from 111K, 111.6K. Shows fading sellers, micro reversal potential if price closes less than or greater than 112K with volume uptick. Alright, so looking at the 5 minute, we kind of broke down off that 200 last night, or this morning, I guess. Broke down, and we're still below that 21, so looks like we could continue to break down here. MACD is very flat right now. Like we had some momentum here as we started this down run. Now we're kind of really flat, looking like we're possibly going to break one way or the other, consolidating here. RSI is also pretty much flat as we're looking to possibly flip and continue bearish. Stoches are midline, looking to the upside. So overall, 5 minute looks like we might get a little bit of a run up here. We'll see as we kind of let it play out. All right, that's kind of the TA for the day. We're gonna go ahead and build our battle plan for today, and then kind of see what's going on. So we'll type in here, let's build the battle plan. Trying to see what is happening. I'm actually going through this pretty fast today. It's only 8:25. Hopefully this will help you all get set up for the day, kind of see what we're looking at as in our trading style, but also possibly just help you kind of see what you're thinking about doing for the market. Help you learn some TA. That's really the goal of this uh, live stream, is to help y'all learn. If you do have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll try to answer them as best we can. Yeah, this is kind of what our BattleBox battle plan will kind of look like. It is a little bit different than I normally see, but let's see if we can get it going. So we got, it's showing us that we have our battlefield overview, so different levels to be watching out for. Okay, here we go. Setups for range break continuation. So this is kind of what we're looking for trade wise. The triggers that 15-minute candle closes above the volume area low. Volume area low. Okay. 111,500. So this is going to be our downtrend trade. So we'll check that out. So we're looking for that trade, which obviously it's doing right now. Looking for that break of the volume area low here, which we just got. Looking for the retest on the 5-minute of the volume area low, which is basically happening right now. For that trade, kind of looking for, we'll throw that on here so y'all can see it easily. So we'll just go ahead and move our stop out to where we need it to be, and then we'll drop our thing down. More than likely, you probably won't pass this 110,300 level. If we do get a pass through that, then that's kind of where we'll be looking to really, like, if we get through that level, then we're kind of gonna dump a decent amount farther. So that's kind of the, like we showed earlier, that's kind of the bottom of the range that we're in right now. So probably not get an immediate just drop out, but if we do end up getting some closes below that, we could continue even farther than that. But playing it safe, I'd be watching for that. Be watching for us to kind of get out right there. That'd be kind of what I'd be looking at. Let's see. What else do we got? So, that's kind of our trade. The targets for it's saying are 110.7 and 110.9. Wow, okay, that's like way higher than. Yeah, so it's saying kind of in the middle of where we're looking at. I would be looking more at this yellow line down here for that target. One sec. I'm going to get something set up real fast. This is kind of what we're doing in the trade for today, what we're looking at. Honestly, again, we're not here for financial advice. We're just here for educational purposes only. But that's what we're kind of thinking. Jumping in on demo there for that trade. Especially if you're like looking to get into something today, that is definitely what we're looking for. That's what we're thinking. We are going to get in for. And we are basically setting up like right now. Like this is like perfect time if you wanted to jump into this. This is, again, not financial advice, but this is when we're looking for it to jump in. Perfect time. Actually, we're kind of breaking out right now. Breaking down. That was kind of our trade right there. This was the jump in point. So hopefully y'all got into that. On your, hopefully you did your own research jumping into that if you thought it was a good trade. See how it plays out here. The other trade that we got for today is if we end up kind of flipping. So say, I mean, obviously right now maybe we'll flip here, but say we end up flipping here, starting to kind of get that break up to that volume area high, break through it, and then continue upwards. That'd be kind of where we'd be jumping in for that up trade there. And we'd be taking that up to this, at least this volume area high, possibly farther depending on how high we break up. Volume area high would definitely be one of our more first targets here. And then if we continued up from there, then I guess we'd be kind of targeting this 113,500 level. At least that's where I would be going for. That's just kind of the next level that I see on the chart here. Yeah, that's really that's kind of the trades we're looking at for today. There's not really a whole lot other than that. Just those two trades. So either we break out of the top, break out of the bottom. Either way, that's kind of what we're going to be looking at jumping into. So I guess, yeah, other than that, hopefully y'all have a good trading day. Happy trading to y'all. Make sure you check out our recap that's coming out on 10, especially if you want to get a little bit more information. If you're interested in learning about any of this kind of stuff we're doing on the call, it will all be on our channel, so make sure you check that out. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe, hit that bell, give us a like. All helps the channel grow, helps us reach some more people, get more people some trading knowledge. Really helpful. And leave a comment if you have any questions, because we'll be checking those, trying to answer all of them. So you can do it on pretty much any video, and we'll try to get back to you. But yeah, thanks for watching our live stream, and we will catch y'all tomorrow for the next one. Make sure you sign back on. Yeah. And and also the levels from today's live stream will be on our X account. So if you wanted to get those, they'll be on there a little bit later today. Yeah. Happy trading to y'all, and we'll catch y'all next time.